Daniel Lacalle is chief economist at Tressis. He joins us now from Madrid. Good to see you, Daniel.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Tell us what are some of the factors at play here for them to readjust this prediction?
I think that the IMF projections started being too optimistic, and therefore they're adjusting is to a harsher reality. The developed economies are not coming back from the pandemic as fast as was initially projected. And I think that that is the biggest difference. If you look at the picture for emerging economies, it is much more optimistic. Uh, Obviously, they're not doing big upgrades, but I think that it's obvious that what is dragging growth globally comes from the developed economies, and it's very evident that inflation has taken a big toll on growth because many of the economies are showing a very significant decline in both consumption and investment because of the elevated levels of inflation. And what worries me is that the pace of reduction of inflation has been moderated yet again by the IMF, which means that we will have more inflation, and obviously inflation is accumulative.
We've seen so many major economies raise interest rates now, in some cases over and over and over again. Why has that not been enough to tame inflation?
Well, rate hikes have helped. And obviously, the inflation is coming down. It is not coming down as fast as we would like because government spending continues to be extremely elevated, which means the monetization of debt is continuing, and because the inflationary pressures that were built between 2020 and 2022 need more than rate hikes. Rate hikes are one factor which leads to a reduction in the increase in money supply, but not the quantity of money that is already in the system. So I think that that is one of the reasons is that it's very difficult to tame inflation to the levels that we would like it to without a significant correction of economic growth. And what we're seeing is a moderation, but not a recession.
So when you see these numbers, that the world's economy will only grow 2.8% as opposed to 3.4, to many people that doesn't sound like a big change, but is it alarming?
It's big. The problem when to put it this way, we're talking about a 20% downgrade here and there. So, you know what happens? This is what happens when we talk about percentages of GDP, is that people say, who cares, 2.2, 2.8. Well, it's important. Huge reductions in growth. And more importantly, I think you've mentioned it at the beginning of the report, which is that the world economy is going to grow at the slowest pace since 2001, excluding 2008 and 2020, i.e. that it's growing basically at recessionary levels.
Yeah, the world has had some major shocks lately. Still chugging along. All right, Daniel, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.